Hello. Hey, hi everybody. Social media family. Being whatsoever racist, but then not necessarily being whatever walks of life, factions of society, or lifestyle preferences. I mean, although any visitors to that being on my own channel, chat room and comment section could possibly, you know, be not only this that's better the lighting. Although any visitors to that being of mine own channel, chat room, and a comment section could possibly be likewise whatsoever racist, and then as well all the same whatever walks of life, factions of society, lifestyle preferences. Then hopefully none of any social media family members or subscribers are of the last mentioned. You know, you gotta recognize and realize I myself personally, I don't know about anybody else, but I cannot hang with anybody and everybody, as that would be a conflict of interest, especially in due regard in reference to that being of my religious, supernatural, or spiritual beliefs of faith. And do disregard any interruptions in the background. As you know, the devil and his demons are ever increasingly busy, or not only excessively, but extremely busy in these last and evil days, these biblical prophetic times. As I am not making reference to any broadcast coming from that of a kind sort of type of electronic device otherwise, but rather in due regard, I make reference to a proverbial neighbor from hell, of one of the obnoxious public nuisances of problem neighbors. Just as long as one stays outside my apartment door, we won't have a problem, you know. As I do believe in self defense and making a citizen's arrest and then having the police make the official arrest, you know, as law enforcement personnel who are supposed to serve and protect not only American citizens, but then foreigners alike, you know, within the continental United States of America, for that being of our own supposed so called democratic republic or democracy. To be compared on to the former socialist or communist government that has since have adopted that of our own for itself, being the former USSR, the United, that is the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. You know, it has become quite like, well, so far as government is concerned, like that onto the United States of America or the former Soviet Union or whatever I would say. But then, as speaking on social justice, I more than likely, more often than not, will do a future social media broadcast or video upon the Mont Overy legal case. I'm sorry, no disrespect is meant to the deceased. I just don't know how to pronounce his African sounding name. He could have possibly been an African national or African immigrant, regardless of whether or not he was seeking political asylum or U.S. citizenship. The black male who was cold-bloodedly murdered by three Caucasian or or white males or white guys down south, somewhere around or across the Mason Dixie line. And as they had come off like, you know, some such closet clan or racist redneck white boys who are, you know, altogether different from the much more rational or reasonable, liberal minded white guys or Caucasian males. Well, if the punishment fits the crime, I mean, you know, those are the serious consequences. When you murder or kill somebody else in cold blood, with the exception of a matter of self-defense. And obviously, evidently the judge had decided against him in reaching his verdict as he witnessed the recording via a cell phone or electronic device that a third white male among them who was going about doing the recording compared to how the other two white guys, being of the father and son, were murdering or killing that black male. And they are the ones that had, well, violated his civil and human rights in the extreme sense of the word, whereas the third one just recorded it with his electronic cellular device or cell phone, to simply say. And although he had been given a lengthy, a long sentence, you know, in jail or imprisonment or for a penitentiary setting for that of the penal colony system. But then he himself, the third white guy, is eligible for parole. Although the father and his son, on the other hand, being as they are themselves otherwise, are going to only leave jail in a body bag with toe tag attached to it, as they have been given life in prison without possibility of parole. And it's like a death sentence, just as worse as, lethal injection, the electric chair, or the gas chamber. Well, you can dance to the music, but don't you know you got to pay to the piper? And this judge, being of a white guy, has has, has saw fit to serve justice, to serve social justice to the surviving family members of the deceased, being of the black guy that had suffered that extreme racial profiling coming from these three white guys otherwise. Then I did say that could possibly become the making of a future social media broadcast or video of mine. Not that I had meant to possibly stray from that other format or the content or whatever I would say for this present one as we have it here, And be sure to check out the footnotes if and when that is reviewed some as such, as well as you all being persons among yourselves could gather a line of thought, the content otherwise for this one particular present social media broadcast of video of mine. Then how you all doing? Well, hopefully everyone is doing at least okay, if not better yet to be said, all right, or if not best of all to be said to be feeling blessed and stressed. More blessings, splat. Oh, Prince of Peace continue regular in my mind compared to the Prince of Darkness, to confuse my speech. And so I say, as I think of it with that, my mind tends to try to backtrack here with reason on purpose is being, or else I can go into following to continue for when that my person at last left off, so I can finish up as complete a form of previous prior line thought in that same word. Yes, if not, you all are feeling, or if not, you all are feeling best of all. Blessed and stressed, more blessed and stressed, the too blessed to possibly become or be stressed is what I meant to say. You and yours, your family and friends, hopefully me and mine likewise, is what all to say. Well, so I say, regardless of whether or not that my person could possibly be butchering the English language as we have it of American dialect. If, but then I'm going to try to do as much of this here social media broadcast video as I can or could possibly wish or hope to do so with man's attention before I try to make it to a local vicinity area neighborhood community soup kitchen that moonlights as a food pantry, being one of what few I know that serves during the the night or evening hours compared to the majority or most I know to serve during the daylight hours or during the daytime. So I'm going to try to compose this particular social media broadcast video for about half an hour before I were to close shop. Half an hour as in 30 minutes, give or take a couple few minutes. Then I'm going to wrap it up. And as you all know, as I would give the greeting, but before any social media broadcast would be of mine, then I would speak upon a subject matter or go about that to be possibly considered to give a line of thought or a couple or a few topics of discussion to be debated or given arguments with many different views and opinions to be associated with and are representative of, or I could speak upon four or more, depending on how I could possibly feel that some such a given moment in time. But then, for whatever that of my person could possibly say, then hopefully none would take offense. And if I could possibly offend anybody, I would appreciate it if you were to bring it to my attention, but then nevertheless, all while employing the usages thereof, all the while at the same time using discretion, you know, as I'm not accepting any kind of rebuttals, response, or replies otherwise. I mean, if you're going to come off like a kind sort of type of an internet troll, there's internet troll. That's what I meant to say. Sorry, I got distracted. One of these proverbial neighbors from hell make me sound like Elmer Fudd, slash along with speech impediment speech or Joe Biden or Sleep Joe Slow Joe for that matter, President elect with speech impediment speech defect. Hoping not likewise like, you know, Ronald Wilson Reagan. Well, remember that. But then back to some of such other. If any of you are going to come off as, you know, internet trolls of the negative, then more than likely, more often than not, the majority or most of you, after trying to be lenient with all, I would just, first of all, consider the option of silencing your chat, and then as an alternative, last but not least, I will block you. And the majority of most men of whom I block, they have lost all access to my channel, chat room, and comment section. Because very few do I permit re-entry or to regain access to it, something such. So if you don't want me to block you or even so much as silence your chat, don't come in here misbehaving acting obnoxious and having me reflect upon as well as remind me a male character, one of the likes of the proverbial neighbors from damn hell or public nuisances and problem neighbors. Because I'm not having it. Okay. Other than that, have had a pretty good day today, I suppose. Then I'm gonna wrap this up in about another 15 minutes or so. I want to try to make it to this soup kitchen that moonlights and food pantry, as I was saying. But anyway, though, I'm trying to get you all the Cliff Notes version, I suppose, what my day was like, or more or less. Well, more than that, you know what I mean, say. Yes, let's see now. I stopped off at another soup kitchen that served during the day and watched a little TV while I was there because they have a TV on the premises compared to this other one, being one of my much more familiar, one of my much more regularly attended ones that no longer has a TV. So I ate there, and I was among the poor, needy, and the homeless that seek the services thereof. Again, for that last mention, I'm in preparation for upcoming housing inspection, and where I'm kind of like doing touch up. I'm on the last leg of the task at hand so far as household cleaning chores, so that when the housing inspector comes through, like right, and as it's scheduled for this first month of the new calendar year, as we have the 2022, then 2024 is when the different, you know, political presidential candidates are to run for office. Oh, got it quite a bit. I didn't get much sleep last night. Anyway, though, yeah. So I'm preparing for a housing inspection as a low income resident within city limits where I'm at for the Midwest USA. Because the homeless lifestyle is no walk in the park. It's not a picnic, And I have never been homeless. I said I've never been homeless by choice. I'm not trying to go there. Yeah, but anyway, though, I just thought I would share this here with you all. What's going on lately in my life? You I went there to get a breather. Well, that's one way. Well, partly to get a breather, partly because I would have to get out anyway eventually, as a means for my own personal survival. Where that should prove to have become a no-brainer as in self-explanatory. You know, you hear what I'm saying? So yeah, and then I come back to my pad after a while. Went there, then uh, come back here, and somebody at the mill. I mean, at one of the doors, not the front, but the back door to the building, was I'm trying to hold the door open for her, and she goes back to her rad after that being at the entrance and exit where the door after she had asked me a question of can I hold it for her. I'm holding it. Then she goes back to on after having brought her a shopping cart with quite a bit of stuff in it and groceries. And then she just plop plop pretty and she went back to this one automobile or motor vehicle ride. I'm not saying What I'm gonna say, I'm not holding this door for my health, miss. I didn't bring it back to her like that, but I'm thinking in my head. I'm like saying, seriously though, you got me holding the door and you go back to your ride after having come over here with a shopping cart and only after you ask me could I hold the door for you, you she go back to my let me see something. I forget something, blah 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 blah. I'm like, wow. Leave it to a black person, no corner in the market when it comes to that. I'm like, miss, I didn't have to. I'm thinking in my head, I didn't have to hold the door for you in the first place. And you're gonna take advantage of my kindness or me being that my person playing the part of the good Samaritan. So when she went back to her ride, I mean, whoever was driving to the automobile motor vehicle for whatever reason, after having come to the door in the first place with shopping cart goes, I said, forget this here. I just let the door go and she can unlock, on I would let go and I went outside the building and then I went around the building and went in the back way. You know what I'm saying? Only a black person. I said only a black person. I'm holding the door like, and it's freezing cold outside. These sub-zero weather temps, from from 5 to 10 to 15 degrees below zero to 20 or 25 degrees below zero. I'm looking back at her. I'm like, Miss, are you serious? You got me holding the door? I thought you was coming in here now. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, oh no, 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 no. This will never do. And I'm being out and like freezing my fingers off and then yeah, so I was like, well, well, well. Yeah, So I'm like, whoa. It just gave me thinking, because a lot of scammers be out here perpetrating. Remind me of one time I'm like trying to at one of these other spots where I used to live. I come back from a self help recovery meeting. Like right, and I have to unlock the downstairs door before I can go upstairs to my apartment. And like there's two other guys, one on the left of me, one on the right of me, of the same race. Then I'm supposed to be an oil cookie myself. Black young males, a little older than the average teenager, I would think, but not so much as old where it would be considered as really up in age or have matured. Then one of them stole on me on the side. So imagine if I was up under the influences when he done that, and where the building where I was living at, it was right next alongside of a fast food place. So I was dazed, but I managed to pick myself up just that quick though. I saw stars and everything. It had to be God. And I ran to the fast food. You know, uh, when they had seen that I had got up just that quick, both of them broke and ran. I was about to. But then remind me at one time or another I was trying to make it to a rescue mission men's shelter. When I was homeless, I never been homeless by choice. And here it is. I only had so many minutes to get there. I was on like a couple of few blocks away, and two other guys come out of nowhere, all the same, with the same race as I am, and they try to bum rush me, and I'm like saying, I ain't got no time for this. I ain't got no, cause I gotta make it to the shelter. I ain't got no time to be throwing down with you. So what I did was, I pushed one way and pushed the other another way with all my strength. Then I had much more power, strength back then. I got still pretty much so power now, with physical nature. I pushed one to the side of the street, I pushed another to the other side of the street. It was like cold as damn hell then, like same season. Well, it was either fall or autumn or winter. It was cold as hell though, chilly to cold. And then I made it to the shelter. And then you know, there's something else I might say relates to that. And then I'm gonna wrap it up in a few so minutes. And then it was oh yeah, there was at one spot. Like, I'm trying to get into the building, but then I had lived at quite a few different places where I paid rent, utilities, home, phone, service bill, etc. But then I'm trying to get into one building where I live, where I live, back for that or sometime. And as soon as I opened the door, somebody rushing in behind me. Then they did that here. I was saying. I'm like, what in the world? You don't wait till I open the door to rush into the building. I'm like, now I know I got to be much more watchful. You Anyway, I got to prepare for this house inspection so that I won't be like, because I've never been homeless by choice. There was one time or another I had to go to court, on landlord, you know, and one of my cases bought some time and so forth. Then got on elsewhere, got me another spot. And the last time I was homeless, was I usually, be homeless just for about a couple few months, literally actually a couple few months. Then find me another spot, another place, a residence, pay monthly rent, utilities, and home phone service fee. But the last time I was homeless for half a year, and I thought it was going to turn into years before I get another place. And I felt like I was about to have a Fred Sanford be like saying, "Oh, Elizabeth, I'm coming up," like as if I'm about to go on a cardiac arrest. But God has been in blessed business still, and where I'm at now, this will be the first time that I have had a neighbor from damn hell. But hopefully, this will be the last. Anyway, though, I'm gonna wrap this up, y'all. As you all know, just as I give the greeting, I would speak upon a matter, a subject matter, a topic of discussion, or give an argument with the views and opinions to be associated with some such. All depends on how I feel. I speak upon one or a couple, three or four more. Then I would, last but not least, come to the conclusion of the matter, by saying. So I paraphrase and I quote that. And that is, if you haven't gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, I would hope that you would think to do so now while the blood is still running warm in your veins, by recognizing and realizing what he himself had done or did upon the cross of Calvary on the hill of Golgotha, suffering at the hands of some sort of Roman soldiers upon the orders of their superiors, being a Pharisees and a Sadducees, but then nevertheless, whereas he himself had went, yeah, Roman soldiers up under their superior, religious and otherwise, and centurions and Caesars for that matter. But then, nevertheless, our Lord and Savior Christ, the Messiah, the deliverer, went to that cross of Calvary, suffered at the hands of those men of whom was up on the orders of the superiors, you know, representing the Roman Empire, so he could fulfill biblical prophecy to become that perfect sacrifice, the only sacrifice for you as well as for me, so that any of us, being of whatsoever race and whatever walks of life, faction of the society, lifestyle preferences, being of the old, young, like both two sexual genders, a male and female, represent not only the human species, but then nevertheless the global community within this post 911 era of a new millennium apocalyptic day and age where the doomsday clock is now at a couple few minutes midnight compared on our 400 period prior to then with a quarter midnight for these rather biblically prophetic times. Were to profess some such faith in him, never would come and be blessed one God another, more waste one. First and foremost, with his salvation, being of which is the only means by which any of us can or could possibly hope to enter into the kingdom of heaven to be considered as citizens thereof. The second of all, with his deliverance. But first, you have got to get his salvation, otherwise, you have nothing coming so far as blessings is concerned. And once you were to make that transition for the great beyond the hereafter, the afterlife, and if you don't have that blood sacrifice, that life insurance policy against the lake of fire, damn hell, then that's where your final destination would be with the rest of the unsaved, lost, damn human souls to be tortured and terrorized by the devil and the demon forever, compared to how we as believing God, as in Christians, aka Protestants, not Catholics, not supposed so-called Jehovah's Witnesses, not supposed so-called Latter-day Saints or any other false religion, whereas we being Christians or Protestants would be across that great divide that separates heaven from hell in the company of like-minded believers and the presence of God and his angels by the way. And do ignore the internet trolls popping in here with this spam. Y'all take care and be safe. We out. Till next time, peace. That's what I say. You know, yeah. Do disregard the internet trolls. So I'm going to silence them in due time whenever I find convenient available. Give them more time to do so. You know, yes, I'm going to silence them and block them. You know, those that popped up in my comment section. But anyway, though, you all take care and be safe, be blessed, not stressed. If and when you can or could possibly become or be of that status, if you're not already, and I'll highly let you all later. Until then, we out. Peace.